Just another compact show.
They're writing songs of love, but not for me. All lucky stars above, but not for me. With love to lead the way, I found more clouds of gray than any Russian play could guarantee. I was a fool to fall and get that way. Oh, lack a day. Although I can't dismiss the memory of your kiss, I guess you're not for me. I was a fool to fall and get that way. Hi-ho, alas and oh so like a day. Although I can't dismiss that memory of your kiss, I guess you're not. No, I guess you're not. No, I guess you're not for me.
Thank you, Dena.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great pleasure. Great pleasure for me. Dena DeRose, great singer, a great pianist, and after 2 days together, a great person too. Honestly, to God.
Thank you.
Here I cut
Works
so that
both
we
ways.
know. Oh, thank you so
Oh,
much.
you cut. Oh, sure.
No, okay, I don't cut anymore. I don't cut anymore. That was good. Okay, I want to thank you because we've been together for 2 days during a nice workshop. It's your day off and you're giving your time to me. That's very precious to me, and so thank you. You're a great pianist and a great singer too. How do you feel when you think about it? You feel a pianist, you feel... I mean, I live the same problem.
Yes, with the voice and guitar, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was first a pianist, but since I've been playing and singing, I would say singing and playing at the same time is an entity of itself, because I'm not accompanying myself singing, and I'm not singing to my piano playing. I'm trying to, the integration between the two is one thing.
Two ways of expression of the same thing.
It's not just one thing really, but it shifts between, sometimes when I'm not playing here, then 100% is on the voice. But then when this comes in, it's not 50-50, it's like 60-40 and then 75-25,
yeah, sometimes it depends on the tune.
Depends on the song. Yeah. Really, I just think when I'm singing is number one. But if someone were to ask me, am I a pianist first or more, or am I a vocalist more? I just sort of see when I'm doing both of them, it's one thing and it's shifting between the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's different than when I just sing. Like last night with Renato Kiko, I only sang, and that's a whole other thing. I've made about 4 records with Scott Hamilton, a great tenor player, and I'm only playing on those.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like
those records,
different hats, to put on.
I always say that I try to do both of them together, and then I do them worse.
Oh, no.
Because together I got just one brain. So you had problems to your hand, is it right? I read it on internet.
Yeah.
Then you stopped playing. That's why you discovered you were a singer. Is it right or not?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was singing from the time I was about 13 in a wedding band, just musicians from school, and we were just jamming one time in the basement, and 2 of the boys in the band at the time, their father had the most popular wedding band in our region. So they were booked up for 2 years in advance.
Great.
So they heard us jamming and said, "Do you guys want to work?" They put together a nice little package and showed the people if they asked them, and they were already booked. Well, what about this band? Here, 13, 14, 15-year-old
It's cool.
great players, and so we did. We put together polkas and 70s tunes like "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue" and all these beautiful songs.
So you played pop,
Played all
music,
pop,
everything.
polkas, waltzes, foxtrots, jazz swing, different things. And that was really some of my first experience with playing with musicians in a band. They eventually asked me, can I sing a few songs? Don't it make my brown eyes blue? That, I don't know if you know that song, but from the 70s. Or Hot Stuff from Donna Summer,
Yeah.
They said, well, Dena, you sing. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't really sing, And really, I have cassette tapes, and it's awful. I'm not even in tune, really. After that band, I didn't sing much because I really wanted to just play. And then the hand problems started with pain in my right hand. And about a year of no playing, I started to sing jazz tunes.
Forrest Gump says life is a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. And now you're a singer, and what a singer. I mean, was that a period difficult for you? I mean, stop playing?
It was difficult. I thought my life was over. I had taken a couple of private lessons with the jazz pianist who also taught jazz piano in the area. But I took a few lessons. I couldn't get it. It was too much math for me. It was really major, 7, 9, what? Oh,
Too
God,
many
I hate
numbers.
math. I
Too
hate
many
math.
numbers.
So I just sort of, learned it on my own, more or less.
How did you get out from that period of difficulties? Because
one night I went to this bar and they were playing. And they said, Dena, come up here and sing a tune. And I'm like, I don't sing jazz, right? I don't know any words. He says, I have a vocal reel book. I went up and I had the book here and the mic here, and I sang Our Love Is Here to Stay. Because I had learned it on piano, so I knew the melody. So I'm reading the words, and there's the audience, and I sang, It's Very Clear, and I sang. And then finished the tune, and they all clapped. Hometown encouragement, I was sort of known as the keyboard girl. They knew that I had some problems, and so I think everybody was very encouraging. I was about 20.
So
21.
I mean, young but not
21-ish, but a young 21.
Okay.
I mean, this is the 80s. I mean, my 21 is probably about a 14 or 15-year-old now. That's
yes,
how mature they are.
I teach
right?
to people, to students that
Me too.
are 12, 13, and they say things that I don't want to be their father.
Right, I know, but they're much more mature than when we were.
You push about the value of each person, with your students. I'm very motivational in my lessons, so I can perfectly understand it, because you never have to give up. You have to dig deep and never give up. Mm-hmm. And it's what you did during the problem, maybe.
Yeah, I after I sang the second song that night, I sat at the bar and I looked in the mirror and I thought, maybe I should sing. Here I was depressed, thinking my life was over, And then looking in the mirror and looking at myself thinking, I'm going to go and get voice lessons. And I knew exactly who, because I had a practice studio. And in that practice studio area were a few teachers, and one was a voice teacher. And you always heard her, woo, you know, all these big, you know, opera singers in there. But mainly she taught technique. And she didn't teach style. This is before I moved to New York City.
Because then you moved to New York City and then you spent some years
After
there,
the
right?
hand got better, I was 25 when I moved to New York. And that 4-year period of having problems, deciding to have operations, you know, playing again.
Oh, you got surgery too?
I had 2 surgeries.
Okay, and you solved the problem, as I can see, fortunately.
Yeah, now I have to play to keep it moving.
Okay, so
it's great.
you're forced to play.
In a way, I have to practice, I have to keep playing. Otherwise, it does get stiff.
New York was your real school, no jazz
New
school.
York streets.
Streets,
doing
yeah, not a
gigs.
school, but you know, meeting
Gigs.
people and playing with other people.
Playing with other people, the people that were playing the style that I liked, which is jazz standards, and they were, you know, it was tough love. It wasn't nice, you know, oh, learn that tune for next week. Now sometimes people are too nice. It was tough love. It was like, I remember showing up to New York with my real book, going to gigs with my real book. I didn't know. It's almost like against the law.
And now you have the real book on the phone.
Yeah,
We have
now it's there if we need it in
That's a problem.
pinches.
I mean, that's a problem for some things, and that's good for other things, as always. And at a certain point, you moved to Europe because you teach at Graz University.
Graz University in Austria. yeah.
Okay, my beloved Austria. I love Austria. You look Austrian a little bit.
A little, I
Yeah.
think. When they speak to me at first in a shop or something, I think they automatically think
They
I'm...
go in German.
Yeah. And then when my German comes out...
But you told me you're studying German, right?
Yeah, I continually study it.
Well, what can you say in German?
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen?
Ja.
Okay.
Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, aber ich verstehe...
Okay, that's great. For me, it's enough. I don't understand. So,
Yeah.
you moved directly to Austria, or
From New York.
what a change!
Yes, it was a big change, but it was the perfect change. I was 15 years and starting to do a lot of traveling to Europe and back. I feel very fortunate that when I lived in New York, I mean, for a good 10 years, I had between 8 and 14 gigs a week. Yeah, because I would do Friday night cocktail hour, Friday night gigs, maybe even a Friday afternoon from 12 to 2, and then Saturday afternoon brunch, and then cocktail hour, and then a nighttime gig, and then even a 1 to 4 in the morning jam session. So, I mean, it was just continually, you know, every day.
Playing all the time, every
all
day.
the time. It was so fun. You know, sometimes you're tired, but, you know, it's a gig.
We don't have to forget that we are lucky. We do this wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So I never forget.
And through all those gigs is how I really built a repertoire, learned to internalize the music more. So listening more and not reading charts and putting the real book down the gutter and just really listening and learning 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, you know, and just harmony by having to do it on the gig.
Because you have to, yeah.
Not knowing a tune. They'll call a tune, and the bass player knows it, the tenor player knows it, the trumpet player knows it, the drummer even knows it. And if I didn't know it, that would
That's a
make me not feel really awful. I mean, I sort of knew it, but I wasn't sure on a few things. So the first chorus, I would just lay out, and the bass player would go through it, and then I'd hear the changes. And the second chorus, like, bang, I come in, and then I could do it. And that's how all of them did it. Even Monk. He maybe didn't remember the tune, or he was just off in space somewhere. And then he comes in the second chorus.
Is there a difference between playing jazz in Europe and playing jazz in the US?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, these days there's jazz everywhere now, and it's more generational. In the last generation or two, there's a lack of knowing the repertoire, the lack of really building a few hundred tunes that you really know, you know? Because within that 1 to 200 range of tunes, or even 50 to 100, you start to see similarities and you can learn tunes quicker. That's sort of missing nowadays because maybe Europe does it more. They have projects and all this all arranged, and there's not a lot of room for improv.
You played with giants of jazz.
I'm thankful to have in my generation also from New York, being in that scene, some great players that are much more well known than I am now. Ingrid Jensen, great trumpet player, Jeremy Pelt, Jim Rotundi, and then sax players Eric Alexander.
I heard your last, I think it's the last work, Alpenglow in Copenhagen.
Okay.
And it's I should say crazy. It's
Free improvisation.
so you like them? You like it too?
Yes, I love it.
What do you think about free jazz?
Is different than free improvisation. So free jazz, a lot of times, there is sometimes free improvisation in free jazz. Free improvised music on Alpenglow features Annette Giesriegel on vocals, which she uses electronics, and then this bassist, Mads Vinding. He's known as a jazz bassist. He played with Chet Baker, everybody. Of course, I've been working with her a little bit from time to time, but this is really the first time doing a recording. I really love exploring free improvised music, meaning there's no key. We don't talk about anything beforehand
You
at
just
all.
play.
Yeah. We just create communication.
The result was great. So go and check it out.
Alpenglow.
In Copenhagen. Check it out. Just one more question. If you should go on the moon, just one musician to bring with you.
Oh my goodness gracious. Probably the drummer that I work with, Matt Wilson, is probably one of the most creative people I know. Besides being a very creative musician, he plays many different styles of jazz. He even plays with Carla Bley, Mary Crispell, and Charlie Hayden. Matt and I have actually been playing together since, I think, about 1998.
Do you go off and back to the States?
2 times a year, yeah. 2, 3, depending on if there's work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the Compact Show. I think
You're welcome.
Italian people will be very happy because you are a little bit Italian, right? Your father's father from Abruzzo, you told me,
Abruzzo,
right?
in Vacari.
Just one more favor. We asked the guests to play our jingle, our opening theme, that is Just Another Compact Show.
Yes,
Just a little
I
bit.
know that. Just another compact show.
That's great. Dena DeRose, grazie a tutti, grazie a Dina, ma soprattutto a voi che avete seguito questo Compact Show. Se vi è piaciuto condividetelo, potete mettere un mi piace, potete mandarci dei messaggi, dirci se vi è piaciuto o se non vi è piaciuto, perché no. Se vi piacciono i Compact Show potete guardarli sul nostro sito www.compactshow.it, sulla nostra pagina Facebook, sul nostro canale Instagram e sul nostro canale YouTube. Potete trovare Dena DeRose su internet, denaderose.com. So easy, so you can miss it.
Facebook too.
Facebook too, okay. Dina, we can close with another song.
Yeah, the blues.
Why not?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Fun how 3 choruses of a blues can wake you up.
Yeah.
You know, these big, opera singers in there. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, aber ich verstehe. Super.
Super.
1, 4, 3, 6, 2, just harmony. Three choruses of a blues can wake you up.